table drains is planted country. The shearing sheds and bending backs, Australian dreams under battered hats is planted country. A beat-up truck, a tin-roof shack, a northern girl with these two hands, living, breathing, working this hallowed ground. On a spinning patch of rock and dirt, center of my universe, planet country. Country girl in a flatbed truck, harvesters whipping up a cloud of dust. It's planted country. It's 303s and 4x4s. They're all hard-wired country boys. It's planted country.
Australian country singer Lee Kernaghan joins us on Vox FM, and Lee's just released a double CD edition of his album Planet Country. G'day, Lee.
G'day, Dave. How are you, mate?
I'm very good. Thanks for your time today. First up, a year after Planet Country's release, you've added a second CD. It's titled Bringing the Music Home. Now, this features new and never-before-released material. To me, Lee, this sounds like a very interesting combination. Tell us a little bit about the songs on the new CD, why they were selected, and why combine the two albums.
Well, it nearly could have been a separate album release on its own, but I decided to put it onto the Planet Country tour because that tour and those singles will still keep coming out, but both this year and well into next year. So we're about to embark on the pubs, clubs and car park tour, which is all about just going out to little towns and playing in places that normally miss out on getting entertainment, and Bringing the Music Home, which is the title track to this new extra CD, is the theme song for that tour. So we've bundled it all together, and for those people who've already bought Planet Country, well, they can get the songs separately on iTunes, and we've done this really for collectors out there.
Dirt, that's your latest single. I want to talk about the film clip. Now, I've been to Deniliquin before, and I'm sure you've been there many times besides this year, but the film clip itself, I hear you used hand-picked fans who were experts in rolling around in the dirt. Is this true, Lee?
Well, basically the ones that we picked were the only ones that were left that were sober.
Okay, so there was about two people in the clip with you.
Because we had to shoot about 6 k's out of town. We shot on location for some of it, but the bulk of it was done out of town, and they had to drive. So trying to find people who who weren't inebriated was pretty hard to do. But we found them, and we got some classic girls and blokes and utes and circle work, and it was a lot of fun out there.
Because the Denny Ute Muster, that's the 1st and 2nd of October, wasn't it, this year? So it was just after that.
That's right, mate. It was the biggest Denny Ute Muster in the history of the event.
How many utes do they get there?
I think it's something like about 10,000 utes.
Yeah, because I saw the picture on your website. Amazing shot, aerial shot.
Phenomenal. Like, I've never seen anything quite like, Denny this year. It was just massive. They were still slashing paddocks as late as 5 p.m. on Friday night, trying to make room for more campers who are coming in.
I was there in the early 90s, but it has grown unbelievably since then.
Yeah, it's a great festival. Fortunate enough to be at the very first one, and it was really amazing. Nobody knew, just whether it'd be 300 or 400 or 500 people turn up, and they came out in the thousands, and it's become quite legendary now in Australia.
Is it quite tribal? Do you have to have a Ford or a Holden ute, and if you turn up in, say, a Toyota Hilux, you get asked to leave?
No, it's all brands, all types of utes are fully embraced in Denny.
That's the country people for you.
Yeah, and of all those people and all the good times that were had, you just don't see any fights. People are there, they're just great spirit, they get on, they have a fantastic time, and they're there, not only for the music and the event, but for each other too,
Yeah, you definitely wouldn't get that in the city with that amount of people around.
Well, if you had those people in the city, you probably would.
Actually, good point.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the Country Music Channel. You've got a show profiling the emerging country artists. I'm guessing that for someone like yourself, this must be so satisfying.
It really has been a lot of fun to be able to do these profiles on up-and-coming artists in country music and really get down into the nitty-gritty as to how it all began, you know, what inspired them, the hard yards that they put in to try and get to where they are today, and profiling their music and what they're all about. Been great.
Do you get much feedback on the show? Because if I was someone who wanted to be a country music star and I thought it was all too hard, maybe I could be inspired by these stories that you present?
Well, I think there'd be definitely some inspiration for anybody who was aspiring to sort of do it, because the difference between playing in your local pub or club and actually having a national record deal and being on the Country Music Channel and touring in your own right can be a pretty thin line. I know, you know, myself back in the early 90s, just playing in pubs and struggling to get by, doing the odd cover songs and stuff like that. And Boys from the Bush and the Outback Club, first couple of songs that I released, and bang, suddenly it happened that quick.
When did you have your first hit?
The first #1 hit was about May or June 1992, and it was Boys from the Bush.
Do you still play that one live?
All the time, yeah.
The reason I ask, you just get some artists who will not play the songs from their early career. It's like they feel they've moved on from that. It was just an interesting point I wanted to bring up with you.
Well, it was a part of my life when it was written, and it's still a part of my life now, and it's one of my sentimental favourites. So I play the music I want to play. You know, I go there to put on a show for people, and, you know, I want to give them the best show I can possibly give them. If they want to hear the early stuff or some of the new stuff or anything in between, you know, I'm going to go out there and play it.
Like, how much say do you have in your video clips and, say, the CD cover?
Well, the covers, for instance, are pretty well designed by myself and my wife, and there's a company that we have called Debaser that we've been using in Sydney. So we basically give them some sort of direction, and my wife, Robbie, is a really good photographer, and she's taken photos for the last 3 album covers herself. She's doing pretty good. It's funny, Dave, you know, I've paid thousands to have my photo taken by, you know, other photographers, but there's just something about the way that Robbie takes my photo. It's more natural,
Yep.
more real.
Mate, 27 golden guitars, 3 arias. How many extensions have you had to put on the house to fit all these in?
No extensions, mate. But I got a bar that's jam packed full of golden guitars. It's pretty good, mate. But I never take it for granted, and each one represents sort of like, I suppose, a milestone in my life
Yeah.
and in my career, and, you know, right back to the very first one, and it changed my life and, you know, got me out on the road and allowed me to do this professionally.
It's laying rubber on the road, turning up the heat. They're having big times, hitting red lines, taking knocks and getting back on your feet. I'm a Townsville digger in Afghanistan. I'm an Australian boy. Tell the kids that I'll be home soon. I'm an Australian boy.